Hi everyone, this is acyuta-bhava from Nightlight Astrology, and today I'm doing the third part of a series on birth chart demonstrations. I've been doing this series for a couple of reasons. One is to give people some previews of my upcoming courses, Ancient Astrology for the Modern Mystic, my Horary course. Both begin in the middle of June. There's still time to sign up. Check it out on my website, nightlightastrology.com. There's an early bird discount, you save a lot of money. There's a tuition plan, and there's need-based tuition for anyone who is struggling because of COVID-19. So feel free to check that out. And the second reason that I'm doing this video series is that I'm trying to include a little bit more natal like tips for interpreting birth charts at home, because I get a lot of questions about it from people. And not everyone wants to take a full year-long course or can afford to. Even though we try to make it accessible, I know that for some people, they're going to just try to find what they can online. So hopefully this series will give you some, just some practical tips for becoming more successful at interpreting charts. This is a horary chart, which is kind of a more specialized form of astrology. I do recommend studying horary more in depth. The best horary textbook, in my opinion, is going to be John Frawley's Horary Textbook Revised Edition. It's a really great horary textbook. Actually, let me see if I can grab it. Here it is. So this is the Horary Textbook Revised Edition. I should have grabbed it earlier. But anyway, so that's a good one. Christian Astrology by William Lilly, a Renaissance astrologer who wrote a very famous horary textbook. It's called Christian Astrology, which it is really, the book has nothing to do with Christianity, but it's all about horary astrology. That's, you're reading a kind of an, kind of like an old English text. And so that one's harder to read, but it's chock full of great examples. But the horary textbook is a really good sort of modern horary book to get started with. So I'm going to show you a horary chart today. And this is maybe my favorite form of astrology, even though it feels like my life is sort of consumed with natal astrology. That's what I teach, or, making horoscopes and stuff like that. But horary is really fun and it's really interesting. So this person wanted to know, will I get a promotion? And I'm just going to walk you through the basics of it. So when a person asks a question, the chart is being cast at the time that I receive the question, and it's being cast from my location at the time that I receive the question as the reader. The chart is cast, and then I'm reading. It's like a birth chart for the moment of a question. And the question is always outcome oriented. If people are like, what does God think about me? Or like, when will the world end? Or something really super subjective, like, should I stop eating what? Should I stop eating Fruit Loops? I don't know. It's like some crazy question that's really highly subjective, not easy to answer with horary. But when it comes to, more outcome-oriented questions, in this case, the question was, will I get the promotion? Horary is really great and can be a really super effective tool. So the question is, will I get the promotion? And what we need to look at is the querent, the person asking, and that's always represented by the ruler of the ascendant. The ruler of the ascendant is given to the person asking the question, and the moon will end up being a co-signifier, meaning it helps give a picture of what's going to happen, the flow of events based on the moon's applications and separations, and can just sort of represent the querent themselves, their vested interest in the matter. Sometimes the moon will play a role, sometimes it won't. Sometimes you'll find your answer elsewhere. Now, the job is going to be the 10th house. That's the job. So that's also Mercury in this case. And typically what we want to look for in a question like this is going to be some kind of imminent positive change to the signifier of the job, meaning, yes, your job improves. Or we want to see some kind of benefic signature around the job or the 10th house. Or we want to see the native connecting with a benefic like Venus or Jupiter in maybe some way that pertains to the 10th house. Basically, though, that's where we start. And I'm trying to break this down to make it simple. In this case, here's how we get to, yes, you'll get a promotion. A couple of reasons. One, you have Venus right at the midheaven, a benefic sitting right at the cusp of the midheaven, which is a place associated with advancement, promotion, rank, honor, fame, success, etc. So a benefic sitting there is a good sign. This is also the ruler of her financial house. So this benefits her finances. Then we also notice that Mercury, the job itself, and our native, if you wanted to go that way, because it rules both the 10th and the 1st, is about to leave Taurus very imminently at 29 degrees and 45 minutes and is about to enter Gemini. Now, what happens when Mercury enters Gemini? It goes into the sign of its rulership, which means in ancient terminology, classical terminology, its dignity increases. So the dignity goes up, just like awesome, right? Great, totally awesome. This person is also, you can see the job is separating from Mars. Now, that could mean a lot of different things. But for example, in this case, it could mean, as she shared with me, that the company is starting to do some healthy recovery after the COVID-19, that they're starting to pick up again after COVID-19, that they're in a place in the world where they're able to sort of get back to work. So the job is separating from a malefic and immediately picking up dignity. And then we have Venus at the midheaven, all of which are really good. Now, so generally that gave me the confidence to say, yeah, you know what, you're going to get a promotion, and it'll probably impact your finances nicely. Now, there's one caveat here, and I'm keeping this really simple. There's horary astrologers out there who watch this may inevitably notice lots of things, and I'm not necessarily going into every last detail here, but Venus is also in the process of stationing and is about to turn retrograde. Now, in this case, I wouldn't see that as a big negative, given especially that the job itself is about to pick up dignity by virtue of Mercury entering Gemini. But Venus's retrograde at that place could actually mean that there is some delay when it comes to the promotion, or specifically the finances associated with the promotion, the expected raise or increase of salary. Because Venus retrograde here is very positive, but is about to turn backward. And so that could be a sign of like, we've got something good for you, but we just need to recover a little bit more, or it's going to have to wait just a little bit more, or the financial piece just may take time to implement, which makes sense because a lot of people right now who have been, they've been furloughed, or they've been, different companies have put people down to part-time work, or, they've had to temporarily decrease pay scale or whatever. So when I suggested this, I've had a lot of people ask about promotions lately, by the way, but when I had this person ask about it, they said that when I said, yes, you'll get the promotion, and it looks like the job itself is going to be recovering, but maybe there's some delay when it comes to the benefit around your money. Would that make any sense to you? And they said, yeah, totally. I was already anticipating that it might take up to a year for me to, see the real impact of a salary raise with this company that I've been with. So I found that really interesting because it confirmed for me that this was the case, and actually heard back very quickly from this person that they did in fact get a raise and a promotion, and it is going to take a while. So it was not something that they said it would not come right away, but that indeed this was the promise. So we'll see. Maybe sometime, and I could be missing something, and maybe sometime down the road, this all turns south, and it there's a big reversal, and it doesn't pan out, but I'd be surprised. So that's the basic reasoning that I use to get to promotion in this case, maybe with some delay of the financial piece, and that is exactly what happened. So I hope you found that interesting. That's a simple demonstration of horary astrology. Horary astrology is really cool. It's like sitting in front of the Sphinx and trying to answer these riddles. They really satisfy the mind. To take astrology, you need to have the prerequisite of, knowing about aspects. You need to have good aspect understanding. You need to have house understanding. You need to be able to also understand dignities. So if you already know your dignities, you can identify aspects, your houses, stuff like that, then you could definitely join my class in June. Otherwise, I hope that this just, entices you to study a little bit more. And the best, just like do-it-yourself textbook is the Horary textbook from John Frawley, a revised edition. He's been my teacher for a couple of years now. Really, really enjoy his work. So I think you'd find it interesting too. All right, that's what I've got for you. I hope that you've enjoyed this 3-part series on interpreting birth charts, and hope to see some of you in class soon. All right, take it easy. Bye.